What's up, everybody, and welcome to another brand new episode of Spill the Tequila here on the Outlaw Nation channel. For now, I am John Rocha, joined as always by my man who is doing it remotely over there, the king of swag, Winston A. Marshall. How are you, Winston? Look at this.
Hey, man, I got down here, Papa Marshall, man, he's out here living this big life. I had to make sure he living the life right. So, my Havana shirt, my Havana cigar, my like $200 glass of red wine. You already know what it is, man. This how he lived now. So this how I live for the next 72 hours.
You'll excuse me because I don't know too much about the background of your family, but I know you're from Texas. Is this in Texas or is this in another state that you're doing this?
This is indeed in Texas, man. We out here. We in Dallas. You know how we do. You know what I mean? And, all I'm saying is my dad is saved very well for his retirement. So
clearly,
as he needed someone to come and be with him, I am happy to be around. Smoking cigars.
Right on. There you go. Nice. I'm a little jealous. I used to love smoking cigars back in the old days as well. So respect. So we got ourselves a hell of a show today. We got a lot of stuff to get into. We got the Emmys nominations were announced early this morning, Wednesday, with a lot of snubs, but also some positive news, and then some kind of middling news overall with the nominations, which we'll get to, of course. The Epstein Files stuff is just blowing up like crazy right now. There's a MAGA civil war going on over that. There's another civil war going on in the Superman fandom online where people are arguing about the box office, opening weekend at box office of Superman. Some people think it's amazing. Other people think it's terrible. And then somewhere in the middle is probably a lot of people right now at this point coming out of the opening weekend of Superman. And we got other stuff to get into if we have enough time for it as well here on the channel and on the show. And don't forget, the Streamlabs Super Chats are open. So if you want to send in your love with questions, thoughts, and comments, send them in. You guys have been really great the last few weeks sending in your questions, thoughts, and comments. So make sure you do that. It's pinned in the description, and it's in the chat as well for you all. So, Winston A., anything you want to say before we get into this stuff, or where are you at right now? Or where are you at mentally, emotionally? Where are you at right now? Uh-oh. Looks like he's frozen. Uh-oh, we might be losing him, everybody. We might be losing him. Oh, looks like he's coming back. Okay. Is that what we're doing?
Just for the moment.
Okay. All right. No, you're frozen even here, bro. Well, there you go. That's just as we were going to start the show, we lost Winston A. Marshall. Right. Oh, there he is. There he is.
I'm here. All right.
All right. As I said, the Emmy nominations came out this morning, Winston. Interesting stuff when you look at the overall nominations here. And, of course, that's Harvey Guillen and Brenda Song who announced the nominations. Got up real early to do that. But overall, this is an interesting list of nominees. And the stats around the nominees are fascinating when you look at it. 27 nominations for Severance. Pretty amazing stuff there. Apple TV Plus series nabbed 27 noms there, and that was it. And then the Penguin got 24 nominations, followed by the Studio and White Lotus with 23 nominations. The Last of Us got 16 nominations for its season there. Andor and Hacks had 14 nominations each. The Adolescence, The Bear, and The Pit with 13 nominations each. This is a pretty good in terms of the amount of nominations for both Andor and the Penguin. I mean, the Penguin coming up just below the top show here with nominations at 24 to Severance's 27. It's pretty amazing stuff here. Kristen Milioti got nominated. Colin Farrell got nominated. So what are your thoughts when you look at these nominations? You look at these the amount of nominations that were had here and the kind of people that were nominated here.
I mean, I think the part that I'm there I go. Here I am. Okay. I think the part that I am most impressed by is to see that the Studio, that Severance, and that the Pit all got recognized, all incredible shows that really stepped up what TV can be this year. And so I'm happy to see that the Penguin got its due. I'm curious to see how a lot of this is going to play out because there are some nominations on some of this that I don't agree with. Like, I still don't agree with the fact that they put The Bear in the comedy category series.
That to me still doesn't ring proper. So there's that. I didn't watch Andor, so I actually can't speak too much about the lack of nominations there. Unfortunately, I know that a lot of people did, and I know you were one of the ones that was praising how incredible it was.
Yeah,
so if you tell me that it's a shame that they didn't get on there, then I fully believe you. I just, for that show in particular, I just can't speak to that. But I think seeing what Severance pulled off this year, I think what The Pit was able to do this year, and I think The Studio, which is my favorite show of the year so far, I'm enjoying what I'm seeing, and I'm very curious to see if it's going to play out the way that everybody thinks it will.
Yeah, it's certainly a good year for television and a lot of formats, both the regular shows that come on with the seasons that they have, but also the limited series have been pretty amazing. Some of the TV movies have been pretty amazing. So it's an interesting year full of a lot of a various amount of nominations for shows with different types of energies to them for sure. Also, Abbott Elementary got nominated. The Bear, as you said, over Hacks, Nobody Wants This, Only Murders in the Building, Shrinking. Harrison Ford got his first Emmy nominee ever. Kathy Bates got nominated for Matlock. She is the oldest actress to be nominated for an Emmy at 77. While Owen Cooper for Adolescence, which if you guys haven't seen that on Netflix, do yourself a favor. It's a 4-episode series that will absolutely rock your world.
That is amazing.
Yeah. Owen Cooper got nominated as the youngest nominee there for supporting actor, even though some people might argue he is the lead actor on this. Stephen Graham, who plays his father in the series, got nominated there. But you also had Martin Scorsese and Ron Howard earning their first ever acting nominations. Uzo Aduba picked up the Best Comedy Actress nomination for The Residents. And Quinta Brunson got nominated for both acting, writing, and directing, which I think is the first time a Black actress, or a Black performer rather, has been nominated in all 3 categories in the same year. So it's pretty amazing, the love that the Academy has for Abbott Elementary as well. But yeah, you mentioned something that I harped on. We lost Winston there. Maybe I don't know. Is that okay? Well, we will see when he comes back. But something that we were talking about earlier, when you looked at the nominations, and I tweeted about this as well, and so I want to hit it right off the bat, is the amount of amazing performances we got from the ladies in Andor. Denise Goff there, Genevieve O'Reilly, Adria Arjona, and Elizabeth Delau did not receive Emmy nominations for their work in season 2 of Andor, and that was just tough to see, especially when you look at the White Lotus nominations, and like everybody and their mother got nominated for White Lotus acting wise, yet something that is really powerful, poignant, topical, and really a cut above anything you've seen before from the world of Star Wars. Andor season 2, none of these ladies who delivered some career-defining performances in that show were nominated, and so you just get frustrated with this kind of bias towards these kinds of towards the sci-fi shows or superhero shows that the Academy has. There seems to be, in my opinion, Winston, like a condescending approach to those shows, that they're like, they're not the regular shows that we would normally look at. This is frivolous stuff. It's frustrating.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think that is, and I think I figured out the Wi-Fi. So give me just a second here, and we should be no more speed bumps. But that's something that we've talked about. That's why I personally get so upset about. Wait for it.
Yes. Oh. All right.
Okay.
Hey! Nice.
There we go.
Nice.
There we go. All right. Okay. So let's do this again. So all that being said, all this ghetto shit going on, bro. Jesus Christ.
It's Dallas, bro. Forget it, Jake. It's Dallas.
We live it big. We live it big. That's all that matters. My point is, that's one of the reasons why I get mad about, Scorsese making those comments about the MCU. It doesn't just go to TV. It goes to it doesn't just go to movies. It goes to TV as well. This idea that you think that this medium or this particular way to tell a story is more poignant than the rest. I hate the fact that I started watching The Residents. The Residents is actually fantastic. Got canceled after a season though because people just didn't tune into it.
Yeah.
I'm happy that it was just getting her due, but again, you're right. There is a bias of doing your kind of whatever traditional shows and letting that be kind of the guiding rod, and not giving a lot of other, interesting and unique ways of telling stories to get their due.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. When you look at how much The White Lotus was lauded, and from what I did a little bit of research today, the critics didn't 100% like this season of The White Lotus. The fact that it had a quote unquote bumpy season is even more of an indicator that the Academy is just, some of these voters are lazy and they just default to the easiest choice rather than watching an Andor season 2. And this is where it becomes frustrating, because I think it chips away at the actual validity of the awards. When you look at stuff like the Emmys and the Oscars, are all these voters really watching all these shows, really understanding and getting all these shows? Are they dialing into these shows? Because then the awards become something like, well, you just won for the people who saw the show.
Right.
The voters that actually saw the show, you won because the voters actually watched your show. But if they had watched all the shows, maybe you wouldn't have won. So to me, I think it really undercuts a lot of the what is supposed to be a pure process where these shows get considered and nominated and possibly win. And even Pedro Pascal, he got nominated for The Last of Us, which was great, but Diego Luna got shut out, and Diego Luna was carrying that series. And his journey is the main journey of the entire second season. And so to not have him be nominated, whereas Pedro gets killed, in the second episode or whatever, like it's just so frustrating when you look at this stuff. It's like, come on, there's more here to look at. And I don't know why they didn't do that in this case, so it's frustrating.
I think that's the whole thing, is we just have to remember that unfortunately is, we're actually going to start going backwards a little bit. Because you're actually seeing a massive pushback with the quote unquote, we're not going to make DEI stuff anymore. It almost feels like, fine, get it out so we can move on. And so it's kind of trying to brush stuff to the side, because that has been the main thing that I've actually heard from other folks that I know in the industry. I have folks that have really great projects that were lined up that were supposed to pop off, and then them being like, we're not going to buy it.
Yeah.
And so that is, I don't think is going to get any better now that like Andor is we're done, right? Like, again, since I haven't seen it, we're now officially where Rogue One would start.
Right. By the end.
So you're not going to get another opportunity to do that.
Nope.
And what you then have to hope, and what that kind of sucks. I love Abbott Elementary. I don't want to put the hope of everything that's not like a standard straight white dude, like something all on the shoulders of Abbott, which everyone has shown that they are enjoying. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want us to go back to a space with art and with TV and with movies that a black thing, a Latino thing, anything that's not that is more of a token scenario than an actual like freedom of expression. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and when you look at the drama series, you have Andor, which is, led mostly by a Latino actor or Hispanic actor, The Diplomat, The Last of Us, which has Pedro Pascal in it, Paradise, which I was very happy to see nominations for Paradise. If you guys haven't watched that show on Hulu, it's so good with
I've heard good things about it, man.
Yeah, with Sterling K. Brown and Julianne Nicholson, a host of other fantastic actors. The Pit, certainly a white-led show, but a diverse cast. Severance, you got a diverse cast in Severance, even though it's Adam Scott, it's his journey. Slow Horses, there are a couple of actors of diversity there, but White Lotus is like the rich person show, and to see all the by that I mean the rich people are the focus of the show,
right?
And you see all this stuff, and then you look at the nominees for acting, and White Lotus is like all over that in terms of the female category and these other categories, and it just becomes a little bit like they're defaulting to this. But that being said, I mean, them highlighting some of these smaller shows and giving love, like Nobody Wants This, Shrinking. You mentioned the studio. Apple TV Plus is still a little bit of a smaller approach to things, even though they're a massive brand. So they don't get as much love. I love that Rebel Ridge got nominated for its amazing, for that film that's on Netflix, which was really cool. As well, Sterling K. Brown for Paradise getting nominated was great. Sharon Horgan for Bad Sisters. If you guys haven't watched Bad Sisters, both those seasons are pretty damn good on Apple TV Plus as well. I've never seen The Diplomat, but I hear Kerry Russell's great in that stuff.
I've heard Kerry Russell's fantastic in that.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And then you see the Severance stuff, of course. But Colin Farrell getting nominated, I think, was really cool. Kristen Milioti getting nominated. So I wonder if maybe being on HBO Max is what gave the Penguin a little bit more of a leg up than something like Star Wars being on Disney Plus. Maybe because HBO Max has a legacy of creating these really poignant shows.
Yes, but my pushback is WandaVision won. Like we've seen other stuff from their go. It just kind of has to hit in a particular way that you're going to draw them in. And I think that was it. I think this was so on another level, and they a lot of times can draw you in from what it is. And that they already saw the makeup and prosthetics with Colin Farrell the first time, so they had to be like, wow, his acting was crazy. We lost him in this. So it already had the buzz from a 700 million, what was it, 750, 775 Batman. So they were like, of course, we got to see what the extension of this is. Andor, I get it. Like, obviously, it had a really great first season. And obviously, Star Wars is a big brand, but like you said, with it being sci-fi and this idea that while Star Wars is a massive franchise, like you said, unfortunately, they're not treating it with enough respect. Game of Thrones ended up earning it because it was like ultimately they held off for a bit, but they heard the insane cast and crew that was tied to George R. R. Martin's massive IP. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think the respect will come, but with Star Wars already being in such crazy disarray, and there was already a lot of divisive shit left and right,
that's true.
I'm sure it just became one more excuse for them to not have to acknowledge it.
Yeah. Good point. You're probably right. And I don't know, Andor came out of Rogue One, but it's a different situation when you look at it current versus just something that was still in the pop culture zeitgeist for the last few years, like the Batman. So with Penguin coming out of the Batman, there was more of a lift here. Whereas Andor had come out, there had been a season 1, but it was still very much a Star Wars show. And I don't think a lot of the Academy is necessarily going to watch a Star Wars show and think it's on the level of something like Severance or a White Lotus in terms of nominating it for acting awards, which I think is unfortunate.
It is,
because the show itself got nominated, which is nice, but
But I mean, that's the other thing that you got to give actually credit to Apple to all of a sudden just kind of snake their way in there. And I don't even mean that in a negative way, but think about it. You figured out a Ted Lasso, you figured out a Coda, and now all of a sudden your movies and your shows are getting at the top of the list, even if it's only a couple. Like F1 became a huge deal this summer, and a lot of people don't realize that was an Apple movie, an Apple Studios movie that just happened to be run by Brad Pitt and team and all that. So you have that. Same thing within the studio and Severance. You got a big enough names and you got enough of the internet going crazy over it that you got people to force themselves to pay attention. And Apple throws in a free, like, it's either 6 months or a year of Apple TV if you buy a new product too. So they're actually finding a way to naturally game the system. Crazy.
So true. And when you look at the snubs here, this is fascinating stuff. Squid Game season 2 got shut out from any nominations at all, even though it got like a really great run with its first season, with Lee Jung-jae winning for best dramatic performance.
But I'm curious though, because this doesn't list if they submitted, right? Because there's a possibility they submitted season 2 and 3 as one season. Obviously, you had that break, so you technically could have. But I'm just curious if they're treating that second half as one.
No, I wonder if the voters are, but they submitted the second season. They did not submit the third season, because the third season will be submitted for obviously upcoming. And Handmaid's Tale, its final season, nothing. Like it got maybe 1 or 2 nominations, but not much there overall, with Cherry Jones getting a nomination. I think it was the only thing that she got, only one to be nominated from that show, which is pretty surprising as well. Elizabeth Moss being snubbed. 4 Seasons didn't get anything as well. A lot of people like that show with Tina Fey, Coleman Domingo, and Steve Carell. Didn't do anything there. Renee Zellweger got snubbed as well. Recent Oscar winner Renee Zellweger got snubbed for Bridget Jones thing. What's up? The White Lotus? Patrick Schwarzenegger. Everyone was talking about Patrick Schwarzenegger, and he did not get a nomination at all with all of this. And I'll tell you one that bothered me is Disclaimer. We ended up watching that show on Apple TV Plus from Alfonso Cuarón with Kate Blanchett, Kevin Kline, and a host of Sacha Baron Cohen. Really, really, really good show, but didn't do much there at the Emmys. It only got, I think, 2 nominations for Kate Blanchett and for cinematography. So just kind of surprised on that. And with Only Murders, Steve Martin didn't get nominated, but Selena and Martin Short got nominated. So,
I mean, the other thing that ends up happening with older shows, because now Only Murders is starting to become an older show.
Yeah.
A lot of times the darling element disappears because new stuff comes along, which I don't necessarily hate. I think the only thing that always sucks is if you have somebody that's been killing it in a role and they maybe didn't get to the promised end, but didn't all three of them win at this point, or am I losing it?
All three of which ones?
Only Murder. So Selena, Martin, and Steve.
Right. Yeah.
I think they've all won.
Selena's never won, I don't think. I think Martin and Short have won. Steve Martin and Martin Short have won. Yeah, no, not Selena, which has been a big deal because a lot of people have been saying it's a crime, and what have you.
No, I get it, but the thing that's hard because they're a comedy, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not like we're sitting out here in a scenario where it's like the ones that did win weren't like fantastic as well, because then you're talking about Sheryl Lee Roth, I believe.
Yeah, Sheryl Lee
was one because the first time I think Selena was supporting and now she's lead, and then another year Quinta won. So it's like it's hard to say because Abbott has been fully dominating in the comedy category, but that's also why I feel some type of way about The Bear being in that realm.
Yeah,
because it really is more of a drama, if we're being honest.
Yeah,
and so I don't know. I love what that whole cast is doing on The Bear, but I think the actual comedies, knowing that we're not getting to see a lot of them anyway, I hate that you're kind of taking away from acknowledging those shows.
Yeah, good point. I mean, another snub. Where is it? I thought I was looking at it just now. I was looking at it, then I just lost it here. But like, where is it? Oh yeah, A Man on the Inside. I thought that Netflix show with Ted Danson and Stephanie Beatriz, I thought it was fantastic. That was a really sweet show that I thought worked overall. As I said, and I'm happy to see The Landman got some love as well, and in here in the nominations. And so yeah, it's quite a list of nominations. But let's move over to the diversity of this all. And just to go back to a comment you made earlier, Winston, which I think is very astute, when you're talking about the DEI stuff. So let's hit with the good news. Queer, Black, Asian, and Latino performers made history, but the overall representation is down for people of color, especially for folks of Asian and indigenous descent. And indigenous, Zahn McLaren, if you're not watching Dark Winds on AMC, you're missing out on 4 great seasons led by a bunch of very talented Native American actors, Zahn McLaren being the top one of them all. Never gets nominated. He's so good in this. Of the 92 total performers nominated in the acting categories, 24 of them are people of color, which is a dip from 2024. Asian, Latino, and Black actors made significant strides, though, with 30 nominees overall. Members of the LGBTQ community did well across all categories. Bella Ramsey picked up their second outstanding lead actress in a drama series for Last of Us, becoming the only non-binary performer to be twice nominated for acting Emmys. Let's see what else have they got here. And queer actors were particularly well represented in the supporting actor category, with Coleman Domingo, Jeff Hiller, Michael Urie, and Bowen Yan taking up half of the slots. Hannah Einbinder for Hacks got nominated. She identifies as bisexual, and Cynthia Erivo earned her 3rd nomination as well for Poker Face there. And of course, RuPaul and Alan Cumming, who are members of the LGBTQ, got nominated again as stars for that. And Trammell Tillman is positioned to make history for Severance. If he wins Outstanding Supporting Actor in Drama Series, he would become the first Black man to win this category in the 21st century. So, yeah. So you look at this stuff here. So it's fascinating stuff. And Ayo Edebiri has been nominated for director as well as actress because she directed.
I saw that. That was cool. That was cool.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, I it's funny, man, because I'm looking at what The Bear is up against. And Hacks, Abbott from last year. I'm not looking at this, sorry, just to see this problem that I have with them constantly going comedy. So they went up against Hacks, Abbott, Curb, Curb's final season, Only Murders, Palm Royale, Reservation Dogs, and What We Do in the Shadows.
Right.
And I think what it was is like you're going up against Shogun, The Crown, Fallout, The Gilded Age, Morning Show, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Slow Horses, and 3 Body Problem. They're just like, you know what? I think we might get smoked by a couple of these, but I think we could just snake this out because of what this is. Yeah. And that's kind of my problem. I am not saying the show isn't deserving of awards. I think it is. It's so good, but it's just frustrating because it's like You could hold your own in the drama series. You should be in the drama series. Point to me how this is funny. You have a few funny moments, but the whole premise of a comedy is you're spending a majority of the time laughing at misadventures versus being like, holy shit, this has got me in my feels. Like, Abbott gets me in my feels once or twice a season, whereas the rest of it is just like a or like that's you know what I'm saying? Like
it's a different approach. You're not wrong on that. And this season, the list of nominees for the best comedy series: Abbott, as you said, The Bear, back in comedy, Hacks, Nobody Wants This, which I did not see and have no interest in seeing, Only Murders in the Building, Shrinking, The Studio, and What We Do in the Shadows in their final season. They kind of got shut out as well, What We Do in the Shadows, for the most part, even though Harvey announced the nominees. So I think they're going to vote against The Bear this year. And maybe the studio takes it because Hollywood loves a series or a show or a movie that makes fun of itself. Hollywood loves that shit.
But the studio, as good as the studio is, I would let the studio run away with it. I know you like it, but you don't feel as strongly as everybody else, right?
Well, the studio, no, I love it. It's Jeff Snyder who has a problem with the back half of the show. I love the show. I think it's great.
Oh, I thought the back half was even better because then it's like now you're getting into award season, and Hollywood goes from being pretentious to insanely pretentious the minute awards get involved.
Ike Barinholtz scene alone,
dude,
where the whole episode.
Thank you, Sal Saperstein.
Amazing.
But I think the studio deservedly should run away with it. Little side stuff. I'm really pulling. I know you mentioned Adolescence, and I know we love the Penguin. It's not gonna win, but I'm personally pulling for Black Mirror. Some of those episodes had me ready to fight everything. Like either like the did you see the season of Black Mirror?
I did not. No, I did not see this season. It's not a show that I've watched consistently, so I don't know.
I love it. There's some standout episodes. One where Paul Giamatti's character, a long lost love, has died, and so someone shows up with an AI to just get some memories from him, and a lot unfolds. It is fascinating. There's an episode where Rashida Jones is in. I can't remember the name of the dude, but he was in Bridesmaids. He was the cop that was. Kristen Wiig. So the two of them are married.
Irish actor.
Yes, she suddenly has like a brain aneurysm, and the way to save her is this new tech that essentially has a subscription service running her body. So at any point they could start running ads through her. They could shut her down if he doesn't make payments. So like that episode had me want to strangle everything. And I won't say more because you can go and watch it and see the shit that happens. They just went all out this particular season. So I'm really hoping that they can do it. I still need to see the Menendez story, the monsters. I don't know if you saw that one.
Yeah.
What you thought?
Yeah, it was amazing. But a hard watch, a really hard watch. Yeah. Okay. Kind of like Adolescence, a hard watch, but worth it.
Yeah, no, for sure. So, I mean, I'll be very curious to see how this all plays out. And I think most likely, just looking at who I'm pulling for, I'm hoping Uzo gets it, though I know she did win for Orange is the New Black. So if there's anybody in that category, because I like all of these actresses that hasn't won yet, then I'm okay with it just because I didn't watch Nobody Wants This. I saw an episode or two as my lady was watching it. It's a fun little thing. It's not necessarily for me, but it's a fun kind of romantic kind of comedy series. But yeah, I mean, we will ultimately see what goes down, man.
Yeah, well, it's, as you said, for sure. So we'll see, and there's more to look at when you look at the diversity here, and so you just kind of hope. Well, I guess you can't really, because it seemed to me this is a signifier that we're kind of going backwards a little bit now. It's gonna and there's going to be less shows that are focused on people of color and people from the LGBTQ plus community because there's such a backlash to that stuff, and not everyone has the guts to just kind of push through and make the shows they want to make. And so we'll see how what the list of nominees looks like next year. Because don't be surprised if it's even whiter than it is this year. I just have a feeling that's probably going to happen, unfortunately. But we'll see. Maybe Squid Game season 3 comes back and people like. I liked it, but maybe people like it, and it comes back in terms of nominations, and maybe some of these other shows come through and get more nominations. So we will see next year.
And then my one I think, as good as she is, she's a little bit of a dark horse just because it's a stacked category. I'm really pulling for Janelle James from Abbott Elementary. This season with Ava in particular was fucking insane. There was a lot of growth with the character, and she brought some of the funniest shit the show has ever seen. So that is my one I'm really crossing my fingers for. Not that, is it Lisa or Liza? Because I know she's supposed to with the Z from the Bear. Colon Zayas.
Oh, yeah. Liza. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Liza. So I know Liza. I know that Catherine Hahn in the studio was fantastic. I know Catherine O'Hara in the studio was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
And I always love Shirley Roth and Jessica Williams, but Janelle James went to a whole different place this year. So I'm really good for it.
I think it's between Janelle and Hannah Einbinder. I think there is going to be a pushback on the Bear. I don't know if the Bear is going to win anything. I think people are just like, nominated, but all the shit we got last year for giving it awards, maybe we'll kind of not vote for it for the awards. But I think Janelle is an excellent possibility, man, because you're right. They like halfway through the season, what happens to her and how she deals with that leads to some amazing comedic moments. Absolutely. And some really touching moments as well that were surprising for that character. So yeah, 100%. I agree.
Absolutely, man. And then let alone the I don't know if you saw the second half of the Abbott Always Sunny crossover, which dropped on Always Sunny season premiere.
I've not seen
the second episode happened, dude. because the one thing that everybody said about the initial crossover episode, they were like, man, that was really tame. Like, I've watched Always Sunny. It's always more than this. And obviously the reasoning for that is you were on the ABC kid-friendly version. So the way that they do the second episode, which is over on Always Sunny, they were like, yeah, we thought that they were kind of bad until we saw the bonus footage of them. And so then it's all the shit they were doing behind the scenes, and it goes full Always Sunny. And you have all of them, but especially, oh my God, why can I not remember Quinta's character's name all of a sudden? Janine just starts saying swear words I didn't think she knew. It is amazing, Rocha.
I'm putting it on the list. Maybe we'll watch it tonight. I like that idea. I'm not one of these people that's in the Always Sunny camp. I've tried it so many times, it just doesn't work for me. But I loved the crossover episode because I've seen enough episodes to know who those characters are.
Right.
And so I do want to see that and see what the end result of that is.
All
right. Well, we've got 200 of you hanging out with us right now. Thanks so much for joining us live here on the show. We appreciate it madly. Please make sure to send in your Streamlabs and Super Chats. You see a pin in the chat. We're going to get to them in just a few minutes. We're going to get a couple more stories and we'll get to them. But let us know your thoughts on everything going on here. And we're moving on to something a little uncomfortable now. Let's get into it. Strap in, y'all. Well. Winston and Marshall, the Epstein Files are causing a MAGA civil war here going on within what seemed to be a very strong coalition of people. Brother, even I'm kind of surprised at how hard MAGA has been pissed off about the Epstein Files not being released. For those of you catching up on this, Attorney General Pam Bondi, they issued a memo here with Dan Bongino over the FBI and Kash Patel, the CIA, like basically saying there is no Epstein list. We're closing the case on this and we're moving on. And they did it right before a Turning Point USA conference. And then all these people came out there who are MAGA bobbleheads and the right-wing bobbleheads, and they delivered speeches that were going after Pam Bondi. Laura Loomer called her Pam Blondie, like just these derogatory things going after her and Trump. And it basically feels like they're not releasing this stuff because he's all over this stuff. So are you surprised by this? What's your reaction to all this? What do you think about what's happening here?
No, I hate that it took us going this long for people to finally be like, hey, wait a minute. And it still won't even necessarily do the damn thing. Because the problem is there's plenty of them that have said, yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm pretty sure he is, but whatever, he's doing XYZ for the country. They continue to be able to write it off for whatever agenda that they were pushing hardcore for. Because like one of the ones that sticks out in my mind, did you ever watch the show Community?
Of course. One of my favorites.
Okay. So you remember Britta at one point being like, I may be able to excuse racism, but I draw the line at animal cruelty. And then Shirley's like, you can excuse racism. That's kind of the same shit. It's like, I can excuse the racism, but I draw the line at the fact that my president happened to be hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein. Like, I still don't think, because what they're going to do is they'll fight over this for a while. I have not seen proof that this is enough. He is still, unfortunately, pseudo Teflon Don. So it is weakened the fabric a little bit. And if we had fully gone to war with Iran, Iran, and if the tariffs do fully tank things, that it continue to tank them the way they're going, then maybe you'll see enough people fully make the flip. But that's the problem, is enough things are kind of working out. I found out today, I don't know if you knew this, I shouldn't be surprised, but just how how enraged I am with this goddamn administration and the big beautiful bill. Did you know that the tax on tips thing lasts for 2 years?
Yep.
Most people think that that's a permanent thing. It is a 2-year situation where they won't tax tips, and then they right back to taking your money.
And there's a cap. Like, if you make more than, I think it's 24,000 in tips, you will be taxed on the rest of it. Anything over 24,000, and it has to be a job that the government approves of you getting a tip for, in order to qualify your tips for no taxes on it. So, but meanwhile, the millionaires got it was forever. They got their tax breaks forever. There's no limit, nothing.
And what they did, the other thing that I found out that's fucking crazy, the way that they justified some of these tax cuts. They didn't introduce new ones, which then they would have to deal with the filibuster.
Right.
They actually took 10-year-old tax code that they kind of helped put into place previously. They're like, we didn't change it. We're just using an old code, baby. So that's not a change. It's just a reversion to what we were. And so, like, it's just, to me, I think, honestly, obviously Trump doesn't want the Epstein Files out there, but I think there's a level of kind of dusting this up, because the more you focus on this, which they're never going to actually release, you can get the fuck away with the rest of your bullshit that's going on. Because people should be furious about this bill passing, because we were off last week. We were, I was on from vacation and whatnot, so we didn't get a chance. Just this idea of, this should only be the thing that people are yelling about constantly.
The bill
is the bill, because of how dangerous it is on a number of different levels. AI, what we said about the tax, all of that stuff, right? And yet, if you keep focusing on this thing that they never are going to actually deliver to you, people aren't talking about that. They're just going to slowly start implementing those things. And if things go sideways during the midterms, they can go, the Democrats are out here ruining everything. And it's like, bitch, it's from a bill you fucking passed 2 years ago. Fuck you.
Well, there's so many moving pieces to this. That's why I try to watch as much as possible, read as much as possible. Because yes, they dropped the memo on a holiday weekend trying to bury it. And it caught fire. And all of these people came forward who were upset about it. All these talking heads. Dan Bongino over there at the FBI did not come into work for a couple of days, because he was mad about the fact that he's already thinking ahead. Like, he had promised his audience, his fan base, that he was going to push for this stuff to be released. CNN reported that he got into a shouting match with Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, over the release of these files and them not releasing these files. If you think Pam Bondi is not doing what Trump tells her to do, you're insane. She's not going in there with some independent thing and be like, maybe we should release it. Sorry, Donald Trump. No, she is absolutely adhering to everything he wants her to do about this stuff. And it's clear. And so Bongino's looking ahead and got upset. Apparently cooler heads prevailed and he's back at work now. But that's the kind of level of anger that was going on. And initially, Charlie Kirk yesterday was like, well, we're turning the page on this. I'm done. Trust my government friends to release the information. We're not gonna talk about this anymore. Then today got on his show because he had such a backlash from his fans for saying that, and said, well, I meant we were moving on for the day. We're back to talk about it now. We're definitely going to talk about Jeffrey Epstein more. Yeah, because a lot of these talking heads, their base is tied into the Epstein stuff. It is a massive part of this stuff.
That was, my dad loves to listen to political stuff constantly. So when he was picking us up from the airport, they were talking about, they were like, has the Epstein Files, is this finally the straw that breaks the camel's back? The idea that, like, first it was QAnon, and then QAnon kind of rolled into January 6th folk and stopped the steal shit and everything else like that. But then it kind of rolled into this, and now this is the one it feels like they both do and don't have a legitimate grip on. I think they're using it to their advantage to draw attention away from other shit. But at the same time, I think if they're not careful, people are genuinely pissed about this.
Right.
So like you are setting yourself up for failure of, like, if they continue at this rate, that they might actually this time flip. But I've never seen them flip. They keep, no matter what, there should have been an infinite number of things they should have flipped about already, and they haven't. So I'm not going to hold my breath, but
And they're already marching out their people with talking points, right? I mean, like Megyn Kelly today in her interview, and of course, Megyn was one of the people that was like, put your hands up if you are angry about this, if you want to hear about the Epstein case and want the files released. Then today she did it over the weekend, and today on a podcast, she said, well, of course, Trump is all over these files. He knew Epstein for 15 years. And no one believes that he had any. And then she goes, no one believes he had any proclivity for underage girls. No one believes that. And then she said, well, we should totally release the files or get the files and what have you. So you see that they're already floating out their talking points. And then Trump today, in an interview with the reporter before he was getting on a plane or something, said that it's very clear to him that Obama, Hillary Clinton, and James Comey wrote the Epstein Files.
Yeah,
and that
makes sense.
They're floating out all this stuff to see which narrative takes hold with their MAGA base, because a lot of the MAGA people just need a reason or an excuse to believe in, so they can keep pushing the nonsense that Trump is actually doing something positive for the country.
Oh, God damn it.
Yeah.
It's one giant clusterfuck, John, and it doesn't ever seem to go away. And I think that's the part that's frustrating, is just every time what it feels like is, this is why I don't fucking like them. It feels like a haunted house. So every time you think this is the exit, woo, like, shit, oh no, that's not the exit, damn it. And then you're like, there's light, maybe over here. Ah! Every time, fucking time, bro. But
but we got to talk about what you wanted to talk about, because we're not done with the Trump section of the show. Because at the Club World Cup this weekend, Donald Trump was asked to go on the field. Or he showed up there with a lot of people in the box there with him. And he showed up on the field to get the award there with Chelsea. And then he stayed on the field. He did not leave the field, and celebrated with the club. And eventually the club itself was trying to get the head of the Club World Cup was trying to get Trump off the stage, wouldn't leave. So what does Chelsea do? Chelsea photoshopped Trump out of their celebration. And then maybe as an FU, Trump took the original trophy home with him, put it in the Oval Office, and they had to give a replica trophy to Chelsea as their trophy for winning this Club World Cup. So even in a situation like this, where it's just like a presentational thing that you're there or whatever, I'm sure this was signaling to the people about the World Cup that the president cares about the World Cup. But even in a situation like this, you had to make it about yourself. You didn't win a damn thing. You didn't play one damn second for this team. You don't manage this team. You don't run this team. You don't own this team. But yet you wanted to be on the stage celebrating with the winners of the tournament instead of getting off the stage. And then you took their trophy. It
was already embarrassing that he wouldn't get off for the photo. Like, it genuinely was like, Jesus. Like I love using Trump's own language against us. When we send Trump, we're not sending our best, because every fucking time this idiot does something stupid. And so, like, again, no association with the team. They had you up there because
zero. Yeah.
The FIFA World Cup is coming to America, Mexico, and Canada. That's why they had you up there in the first place. And you did your part. Now move, bitch. It's not about you. And that's the problem, is that we are dealing with the most insecure man maybe on the planet.
Oh, yeah.
And so therefore you start making, because in what world would that be cool if, like, you were at the Olympics and they were like, can you help hand out gold medals? And then you get up on the #1 podium and push the person off, be like, hey, baby, I did it. I'm going to take this home for me. What the fuck is wrong with you, bro? You clearly have never played soccer once in your life. You did not earn that. Why do you have the real trophy? It's not even like it would piss me off no matter what country the team is from, but it makes it even worse. The trophy obviously being from the UK, it's not even an American team, and you took the fucking trophy home. What is wrong with you? Jesus fucking Christ.
I know, it's so weird. And so, like, the whole intention, of course, was to signal to the international soccer community that's coming that, you know, you have a president that cares about your sport, a president that cares about this stuff. And what you've done is
steal your trophy.
Yeah, steal your trophy. That's exactly right. And then you're like, well, what's the point of this? Why would I give him a chance to do any of this? So just to give you guys a little bit of the shot here so you understand what we're talking about. This is the celebration shot with Trump, clearly there in the middle, clearly they're celebrating, laughing along as if he played a part in any of this, which he didn't. And so Chelsea, on its official account, not on some random fan account, this is their official account, photoshopped him out.
Damn, dude. God damn.
I mean, come on. Before, after. Before, after. I mean, this is insane that this was the path they walked down with this stuff. It's just so crazy, man. Yeah, it feels like an episode of Ted Lasso. Yeah, a bad one.
God damn it, dude. It's just so fucking embarrassing. That's the part that I think upsets me. Is this idea that this is what's supposed to represent me. I did not vote for this stupid shit, bro. Like, this is apparently how I'm supposed to be represented. Is by this asshole. Okay.
Draw says Trump is Biff Tannen and Lex Luthor at the same time. No, 100%. 100%. I like Chris Cork. Imagine what he does during the Olympics. Oh, no, 100%.
That's really 100%. What I'm worried about. That's
I bet he'll go to all the gymnastics meets. I bet he's going to be at all the gymnastics events staring at the ladies there. I guarantee you. I wonder
if Oklahoma City's going to go. I wonder if the Thunder are going to go to the White House.
Ooh,
because I feel like the team itself is actually very, very like black and don't rock with him like that. But ownership probably does, and it's probably like, you gonna take your ass out there, like just because like Shea being Canadian has been very vocal about how much Trump can go fuck himself because like all the threats of we're just gonna take Canada. So you know what I'm saying? So like there's players don't necessarily want to do it, but I could definitely see ownership being like, you're doing it.
Yeah. You know, this is part of it. You want it, now go, you know, plug your nose and do it. But then you saw how he treated the American soccer players that were there who did not have any idea they were going to be in the White House. And was it Timothy Weah who was giving him the side eye the whole time, which I thought was amazing. And then they asked him about it later. It's like, oh, well, you know, we had to do that, but you know, we had to do that. That's it. It was like, yeah, there you go. That's not what you want. People like this. So
hey man, look, I will tell you, you know, I don't fuck with the Eagles. But not me out here being like all of a sudden becoming a Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown fan. I want to say it was Devontae Smith as well. All three of them being like, nah, I got a previous engagement.
I couldn't schedule it.
Standing on business, exactly. Because that then the flip side of Saquon being like, oh, I mean, whatever. Maybe I just respect the office, bitch.
Oh yeah,
like, all right, bro.
Saquon, man. I mean, what a. I mean, you're flying in his helicopter. You're acting the fool, man. You're acting, and you're being used by this man for his own personal benefit to placate the black community, and you're allowing yourself to be used in this way. And that statement afterwards was just disgraceful. The
thing that I don't love, and I don't know if we're talking about Robert Griffin. I can't remember if we decided we're going to do that today.
Oh no, we can do it. You want to bring it up? Why not? It's our show, man. Do it.
Just quickly in the sense of like, it happened again. Him being in the middle of some Angel Reese shit. You didn't need to post the photo because the photo was out there, but it was not as rampant as your millions upon millions of like reach to repost a photo. For those that didn't know, it was a photo for the NBA 2K26. Angel Reese is the female representative for this particular game, and people photoshopped the monkey in the place of her playing basketball.
And
RG3 decided to repost it and was condemning it. He was like, this is unacceptable. We shouldn't be doing this, blah, 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 blah. But you didn't need to repost the photo. Yeah. Like, and the fact that every single time something comes up, you all like, you are a sports commentator, so I understand that, but you somehow always end up at the forefront. This is where people start getting this idea of like, bro, what the fuck is your problem? Like now you keep giving, every time someone says you're overreacting and let this man live however he wants to live. He calls himself the milkman. If he wants to do all that shit, let him live his life. You guys are actually being racist by not letting him live his life. And yet somehow he keeps interjecting himself in a way to make the allegations worse. Like,
yeah, I don't know if he's just swinging, if he's going like, if he's kicking the tires on a right wing possibility. I just don't know the logic in that.
He was always sort of there. You have to, like, if you take into consideration just the idea of, like, one, there's no guarantee that anybody in football, you're going to tend to skew a little more conservative just by nature. That's not an automatic given, but just by nature, you're going to already skew a little bit more that way. You have a number of things he has said over the years in interviews that, like, stuff would kind of slide. Rob Parker caught hell for it, but I'm sure you remember he said, is he a brother? Is he a cornball brother? And they were like, that's so racist. How dare you? Blah, blah, blah. But then every time a black issue comes up, he's saying something that the only person that is maybe rivaling him for how you gonna call yourself black and give that kind of take, you out here cooning, only person on that same level tends to be Acho, who just lost his job. So, like, it's just one of those things where it feels like, specifically, when I keep mentioning, whenever we talk about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, when I keep mentioning that there is this insidious undertone specifically of this white girl is showing these black, and a particular towards Angel because it all started with this.
Yeah.
He tends to see that and kind of ride that wave because the idea of flipping publicity one way or the other. Because if he can bring draw more eyes to his podcast.
Yes. Listen, the quickest way to achieve consistent fame in this country is to be a black man of name spewing out white talking points. And it's just the easiest way to get an audience and to build millions of followers, because then you give the white people a chance to go like, well, I'm not racist. I like him. He's the black guy saying, because he's saying all the shit that you say, you know, and that's always, like you said, like we've talked about though on Boondocks, right? Uncle Ruckus. I mean, that is, yes, it's a caricature, but the energy of that character, all of us have seen the energy of that character. And certainly in the last election cycle, Byron Donalds, so many of these black politicians, and we're just sitting here caping for Trump's incompetent ass and spewing out the white talking points that MAGA crafts and puts out there. So you see that 100%. I'll tell you who has an issue with this as well. I don't know if you saw this, but Shaq was not happy. Shaq,
bro. And I'm not gonna lie, this is a little weird for me.
Yeah.
Because of his comments about Angel in them shorts. This was a little weird for me, but
that's a good point. It's a good point. And there's all credit here to Off the Record. So
speaking of man, RG3, tweet another monkey post about my girl Angel Reese. I'm punching your fucking face.
Whoa.
Okay. It's enough. Like, I don't usually do stuff like this, but just stop it, bro. You got your job, you got your podcast, leave my Angel Reese alone. I'm the one calling her and telling her not to respond. Fucking stop it.
Whoa.
That's the last time. Okay? Thank you. It's not.
Wow.
A real hate. If you look around what's going on in this real country, that's hate. This is sports. I'm not supposed to like you. It's a shame that all the stuff you did in your life, you're going to be remembered for your podcast. You're going to be remembered for your podcast.
That's a takedown, bro. That's a takedown. He undressed him. Yeah.
All the things you have been known for.
Yeah.
Heisman Trophy, number 2 overall draft pick, the way you ended up electrifying your rookie season and doing what you can in the playoffs, all of that going out the motherfucking window, and now you're just going to be known for your goddamn podcast.
Oof. That is rough pumpkins, man. And Shaq doesn't threaten people like that. Like he said, I don't normally do stuff like this. Because Shaq knows he's a massive man who could put you through a wall if he wanted to. So with the RG3 stuff, I mean, that is going to be interesting. What is RG3's response going to be? Because honestly, he could use RG3 as a toothpick, for God's sakes. It just would be scary.
Honestly could. Well, he was happy to pick fights with Ryan Clark, but now that Shaq saying it, I want to show you this because this gift kind of directly talks about what I mean when I say this is weird. So this tweet right here says, I forgot about that weird shit Shaq said to Angel. Nevertheless, if this is a situation that gets RG3 punched in the face, like that
I'm okay with it.
It's definitely, but yeah, This was back in 2012. I will never forget that with Rob Parker, man. And so that was a whole situation having to be dealt with. So here we are.
Yeah, I mean, look, we'll see what happens. I mean, like, this is the thing. Look, did I like that Angel Reese was selected for it? No, I get why they did it. I get it. Caitlyn should be on the front of that cover. I'm never going to back away from that. But I understand why you do it. She is one of the big names in the game of WNBA. So
she also may not have agreed to do it. What a lot of people don't realize with a lot of that stuff, it's
Caitlyn
they have to ask you have to get permission. So it's possible they ask Caitlyn, and Caitlyn is like, I don't want to stir anything else up. No, I don't want to be the face. Whatever. It could be, I don't like video games. It could be whatever it is. It could be her management team is like, that's a brand we don't want to associate with. Because again, she's just balling. But the NBA 2K series tends to be a more black series, like as far as the demographic that are into it. So it's not to say that Caitlyn doesn't deserve it, but her team legitimately have been like, that doesn't feel like a good fit for us.
That's a good point.
You genuinely don't know. You genuinely don't know. And if we end up in a situation where I would say she never, ever does it. Yeah. I would lean more to the idea of that, but I would lean more to the idea of right now, based off of everything that's happening. Yeah. Her team was already kind of managing her fashion all last year instead of letting her wear the stuff that she wanted to wear, and she looked uncomfortable in it. And the minute they let her go back to her stylist and her dressing herself, she looks happy as hell. She looks beautiful as hell versus trying to put her in clothes that don't fit her because it feels like people are trying to mold her brand very hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the last white player to get on NBA 2K was back in 22 with Luka. He was the last white player, still wearing a Mavericks jersey, by the way. I don't know if you noticed that. Still wearing a Mavericks jersey.
I mean, I know. I get it. I get it. Cover athletes.
Let's stay in the world of sports, man. What do you think about this news with Fox Sports 1? Joy Taylor is out of a job. All of 3 of her shows were canceled. Emmanuel Acho's show was canceled. Like, this was a culling here. And now they're talking about Tony Reale, Max Kellerman. I know people get mad at me when I bring up race, but the fact that I'm noticing that you're getting rid of all these black hosts and you're bringing in white hosts, I just go, white male hosts, I just go, where are we at on this? So do you think this is something that was coming? Because they got rid of that producer that was alleged to have done all these things that were sexual harassment accusations, sexual assault, and that she allegedly had an affair with. And they got, or maybe not affair, but a relationship with, I guess. They got rid of him. So all these shows are like maybe part and parcel. So do you think this was just getting rid of the last remnants of this producer and all the drama that came with Joy and everything like this? And Acho, who had his own hoof and mouth disease sometimes. Do you think this was just getting rid of all this stuff and they just want to start all over again? And it just happens to also bring more white people back to host their shows in the sports space?
I think this idea that I bring up a lot about we need to be able to hold water for more than one issue at a time. We need to be able to have more than one thought at a time. I think two things are going on here. I think, if you like, I would say that I wasn't watching the shows in real time and I wasn't watching the full shows, but I would watch 1 or 2 videos from each of both the facility and Speak a day on YouTube. But that being said, the numbers for these shows were not hitting. And if we're being honest,
you're right.
And if we're being honest, like looking at, like, say, the facility, I like Shady's personality. I like James Jones's personality. I like Chase Daniel's personality. A lot of times the takes they were giving were ridiculous, either because they were too homer into it. So like James Jones defending Aaron Rodgers to the ends of the earth. If you want to talk about Aaron Rodgers over the course of a career, by all means, James Jones, you're absolutely correct. He might be the most talented person we've ever seen throw the ball. Maybe there's people that were more successful, but the way he was doing things, it was nuts. To pretend like that Aaron Rodgers is the Aaron Rodgers of today is insane. And no matter what the topic came up, he's like, I just feel like if Aaron Rodgers with the Steelers going to win then. I mean, Mike Tyler likes him. So, like, I mean, that's Aaron Rodgers. Like, all the time. That's James Jones.
Right.
Shady, Eagles, everything. Constantly shitting on a bunch of different stuff. And then Chase Daniel would have good takes at times, but then at other times would clearly be blindsided by shit. And then Acho likes to kind of spin wheels a lot of the times. And it could be a bit of a mess, especially once we got outside of football. So it just was not pulling like it needed to. You get over to Speak. Speak ended up being like almost like that was what Acho, Shady, James were all with Joy on before. They left Joy there. They took Paul Pierce and Keyshawn from Undisputed when that folded, put them on Speak. They kind of had an interesting chemistry, but you're right. Then the lawsuit comes out. So that's the second idea at the same time. The numbers aren't hitting, the chemistry's not popping, and you got an impending lawsuit. Why don't we just throw it all out at once and start over? Because, and I don't necessarily know if it's a race thing, as much as it's just this didn't work. You know, and then we just got to see what happens there. Because Nick Wright survived, and so did Colin Cowherd, and those are the two shows that have been consistent as far as all of this so far. So,
and that may be the thing that you look at here. And look, and it's not. I'm not in no way am I saying Max Kellerman and Tony Reale are somehow a step down, and you're just erasing, you know, black people so you can bring in middling white guys. Those guys are very good at what they do.
Wait. Maybe that's the part I missed. I thought you were just bringing up firings in the past. The Max Kellerman and Reale are going to FS1.
I'm not saying I'm saying they're the ones that are rumored that they're talking to and looking at behind the scenes to come in.
Those are two great hires.
That's what I'm saying.
Those are great hires.
Look, I want to be mad at this, but I agree with you. I watched those shows. They bored me to fucking tears. I think Joy's a terrible host. And so to me, I'm not sad about this in any way, shape, or form. But in one sense, I am, because these are people of color, black people getting a chance to be talking heads on television. There's not a lot of that. Fox was really great at doing that initially, or through the last few years. Now you're moving them out to bring the white guys in, but those guys are great, and I love those guys. So I can't really be that upset about it. And now I'm actually excited to watch and see what these guys have to say about stuff, because I miss Kellerman like crazy. And it says something. He's one of those rare people that never sucked Stephen A. Smith's dick. Like, he totally told it like it is, put him on blast when it was necessary, and it got him fired because Stephen A. can't handle being contradicted.
The way he would, it was like watching boxing. And then Stephen A. is that boxer that talks the most shit in the pregame, doing all that stuff. And I bring up the boxing because that is the specialty of Max's. And then Max would come in, all the talking, bop, 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 and then all of a sudden Stephen A. Well, wait a minute. Wait a damn minute. Like, it's just Max was on a different stratosphere, man. And so Around the Horn going down was one of the saddest things ever. If you could take this moment where people are still upset about Around the Horn being done and get Tony into a new show, Max, who's been doing his own thing, get Max into a situation, I really think you can build something special at this particular moment, man.
Yeah, I like what Eric Kirby says too, Winston. Rocha, according to Terrell Owens, Max Kellerman is more black than Stephen A. Smith, so he gets a pass.
I remember. I will never forget that episode and how Max was like, and Stephen was like, "You wait a goddamn minute." Stephen A.
He was so mad.
He was so mad, bro.
Yeah. T.O. to Max. God. Max is blacker than you, Stephen A. Yeah, exactly. And look, I obviously I can't opine on that. But I think Max is one of the best guys out there. But Max is clearly the guy that a lot of people are. How can I say this? He unsettles a lot of people in the space because Max doesn't pull punches and he's smart as fuck, and that really unsettles. Because listen, a lot of people work in the sports space, maybe not that smart. Max is whip smart, and it unsettles them, makes them unconfident, and they're nervous, and they want to get rid of him, and that's what's happened. Yeah,
I think the two sides of the same coin of Max is Nick Wright. I think Nick Wright sometimes gets a little underestimated in people just because of how he will very aggressively, like say things that like to anybody that is more liberal progressive would be like, yeah, that's correct, and they. At first, when they hear it, they go, he's siding with the wait a minute. Hey, like, so they get surprised by Nick Wright at times. But Nick and Max are two cut from a similar cloth. So I think you would really be building something strong, but it would also be interesting because you would be getting a lot of these progressive thoughts on dudes that love black people and people of various races and will stand up and fight for them.
Yeah.
But then they're white. So then they look at them and they'll just be like, you somehow would appease everybody. You know what I'm saying? By putting them in is because they're, but we'll see. Man.
Like you said, people react to Nick Wright like Guy Gardner and Superman. The what to the
yes,
what?
They do.
The what to the what?
Exactly.
And one last thing, speaking of Superman, man, what do you think about these box office battles that are going on here? People are arguing online here, Winston A, about Superman's box office, and some people are like, it's amazing, it's the greatest thing ever, and other people are like, it's a flop, it's a flop. I mean, do people just need
a flop?
Yeah, some people are saying it's already a flop because it's doing less than Man of Steel, it's doing less than Do these people just need something to be battling about? Like, why can't we just wait a couple of weeks and see how the box office plays out? It's just surprising to me.
Because that's just, unfortunately, that's the era we in. Like, the era that we're in. Like, I can't fully get into it at this particular moment, but I did share with you via text a particular somebody that I guess is a particular golf buddy of a particular other somebody that I know here in Dallas.
Yeah.
And some of the things that were said, I was like, do you know the era that we're in? Like, you're getting talked at in a particular way. I'm not saying it's correct. I'm saying it's absolutely wrong. What's like, the only thing I will say is this particular person, without getting into it right now, has gotten a number of death threats for a decision they made in the public eye. This then person on top of that, I don't agree, deserves to have that happen. That's ridiculous. Nobody does. But again, how are you surprised that that's something that could have happened, considering this is 2025? People, Simone Biles got death threats because she said, I have the twisties. If I go try and do this right now, I might kill myself. And people are like, well, then you should die, bitch. Like, that is the era that we're in. So like, it's just wild to me that people wouldn't know that. And so it kind of falls in the same vein here, man. Like, people are going to make it a big nothing burger because the more you can piss people off, they want to come click and respond to you. You get your little pennies on the dollar from Twitter or from your YouTube videos or whatever, because you were the one that was like, I told you super woke is super broke. And then all of a sudden you're whatever. Like, that is what it has to be. And in the same breath, because people want to defend the things that they like or the things that they represent or whatever it may be, when you're dealing with irrational motherfuckers like that, you're not calling balls and strikes. You're just being like, no, it's not. It's the greatest that it's ever been.
Right.
Was Superman that great box office wise? No. But was it bad? No, it was actually very good. Was it less than Man of Steel? Sure. But we have a long summer. You have a Jurassic World out there. What was out during Man of Steel? Because I don't feel like there was much. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know.
Release date. June 14th, 2013. Okay. June 2013 movies. Let's see. Monsters University, The Internship, The Purge, World War Z, This Is the End. None of these are in the same category. So you're not even remotely having After Earth. That was supposedly the one movie that maybe was going to do it because Will Smith and sci-fi. Right. You didn't have the same competition you have right now. So they're not even one for ones. What the market is with movie theaters aren't the same. But we have to compare it because this idea of you got rid of the Snyderverse. Okay, well, is this going to be better? Is this going to be worse? So we're just going to keep doing the same merry-go-round over and over again, man.
Fascinating year, right? I mean, look, because Man of Steel, right? June 14th, Man of Steel. Then after that, it's Monsters University the next week. World War Z, which people thought was going to be big. Then you have White House Down, which is hilarious. The Channing Tatum one with Jamie Foxx later on that month. Then it's Despicable Me 2. Then it's Lone Ranger, which was supposed to be a massive hit and absolutely tanked at the box office. So
the end of Iron Man, because Iron Man had been out since May 3rd. So it's not even Iron Man that's giving you any sort of, and like you said, Lone Ranger. None of these are correctly giving you competition right now. So when you're looking at when you're looking at 2013, the other movies that are sort of still in theaters looking at this, G.I. Joe Retaliation, which already didn't do very well, but that was in March.
It was terrible.
Olympus Has Fallen. That was in March. I'm just trying to think what else. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is all. So I think we just need to give it time. I think we truly just need to give this time and let's see what happens.
I just don't understand because once again, it's another franchise that is supposedly about being kind, being good, being caring, and yet here we are. The fan base is like battling over the box office. And someone said this, I thought it was a really great comment. James Robinson. I've never seen so many instant box office experts in my life. Yeah, 100%. 100%. It's so frustrating. Just let it play out.
Oh my God.
box
Oh
office.
my
gonna
God!
show
Everybody,
itself
all
up.
of a sudden.
Yeah, I know. It's so frustrating. All right. Anyway, those were the topics I want to talk about. I know we got to get out of here soon, so let's get to the questions here. KJ says, biggest Emmy snub of all time. Mine is Jason Alexander never winning an Emmy for Seinfeld. Oh, that's a fair point. I think The Wire. I think The Wire only getting 2 nominations in its entire history as a series is me fucking insane. That's what I would say.
Yeah, damn. That's crazy, dude. The Wire, I can't believe that it never got anything. That is kind of nuts.
Yeah, just 2.
Wait a minute. Jason Alexander. Oh, that's the American Comedy Awards. Never mind. I accidentally clicked on. This is awards received by Seinfeld. I thought that this was just the Emmys, and I was like, "It's right here. What are we talking about?" But yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Huh?
Do you have a snub? No. All
right. The Boondocks.
Oh yeah.
Boondocks never won anything,
bro. Yes.
Won some Peabody's NAACP awards, but
yeah. Chris Corcoran says, thoughts on Cuomo running again? How shocking an abuser doesn't get that no means no. Don't live in New York City, but I think he and Adams will split the votes. Yeah, this is. I gotta tell you something. I know you. I know you got things to say on this, Winston. I'm gonna say real quick. This is such a bitch move. You got your ass handed to you. Now you're gonna cry baby your way to a third party because you desperately want power. You don't want what's best for New York City. You only want what's best for Cuomo and your brother out here with his stupid show who hid stuff for you allegedly and covered for your ass in your sexual harassment or assault accusations. I mean, it's disgusting all around. They have sullied their father's name. Both of them have sullied their father's name, and this is such a bitch move. Your thoughts here, Winston?
I think my tweet kind of said it all. I took a screenshot of him saying he's running as an independent, and I was like, it's these lifelong asshole politicians and abusers, man. This idea of like you tell them that you're not interested and they still force themselves upon you. And here we are.
That's a fair point. That's a good tweet there, buddy. Fantastic says reputation voters don't care. They'll vote for corruption and make excuses for why it's okay. Yeah. Going back to our conversation about the Epstein Files. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Reggie Brown. What's up, Reggie? Says feelings on RG3 keeps grifting off Angel Reese, saying someone in her camp saying she hates Caitlin Clark and talking about someone making
that was the other thing that he did that I forgot. He says that he has receipts from somebody in Angel's camp that proves that she hates. If that's the case, bro, if that's really the case, then fuck you're trying to play looky-loo, then drop the receipts. Then if that is really true, because otherwise what you're doing is you're already dragging this young woman through the mud. You're already trying to make her like, I get that there are certain things that Angel has done to make herself the bad guy, but you're making it infinitely worse. So if you're really gonna do this, then fucking do it and stop with your bullshit, man. Like get off of her, leave her alone.
It's for me, it's complicated because I think Angel has ridden a little bit of the stuff with Caitlyn to her success, talked about Caitlyn all the time on her podcast. But there's a thing between competition between athletes and what RG3 is doing, which is, I mean, posting that picture and then claiming to be offended by it. That is beyond ridiculous. Do you know what I'm saying?
You didn't need to post it. You could just say, I saw a very offensive, like photoshopped version of the NBA 2K26 cover. Look, you didn't even need to bring up Caitlin Clark. You'd be like, do I think there's the other players in the W that maybe are more deserving? Sure. But that doesn't excuse racism. You could have said all of that without having to repost the photo, especially knowing you are the account that then shared it more than everyone else because of your own platform. But like Shaq said, man, it's sports. They're not all supposed to like each other. They're actually supposed to kind of hate each other. It's not fun if Tom Brady and Peyton Manning are best fucking friends. And like, you got me on that one, Peyton. Buddy. It's more like, no, I hate that dude. I'm going to fucking win this title. Like, that's what we want to see.
People forget Magic and Bird hated each other until they did that Converse commercial. Go and watch the documentary on them. They hated each other, people. And so, like Jordan, I mean, I saw Charles Oakley on a recent episode of one of the podcasts, I think the one with Doug Christie and stuff. And he's like, Isaiah, no one like Isaiah. And Isaiah, Michael is never going to like you. You're never going to get Chicago back. That's Michael's now, no matter how much you complain about it. So, like, there are these grudges that are there. Look, the Schmoedown has grudges, for God's sakes. People are still have little grudges they carry around. So it's just competition breeds that kind of shit. And so, yeah, I don't have a problem with that. It's someone on the outside coming in, trying to take advantage of that and for themselves, like to make money for themselves.
Or if they're doing something that is then actively harming somebody. So if Angel Reese was saying some shit and then Caitlin Clarkson's life was in danger, or vice versa, any of that, if that's what's happening, fine. And Asia Wilson was not robbed for being on the cover, if that's what we're talking about. Asia Wilson was the cover last year, literally with her holding up her two-peat. So that's the other thing that pissed me off, is that people were immediately like, why the fuck Angel? There's so many other players that deserve it. Asia, been on the cover. Sabrina Ionescu, been on the cover. Like, literally, all the people they're saying that shouldn't be Angel, most of them have done the cover. Like, and that is where I go back to this idea of, I call bullshit most of the time when people are like, I'm just trying to protect women's sports. Whatever the conversation is about that specifically, whether it's Caitlin Angel Reese, whether it's trans women, it doesn't matter. They say shit out their ass, but they actually don't know facts about shit. They just want to harp about the one thing they're talking about.
I have my talking point, and I'm going to spew it, whether you like it or not. Okay, exactly. All right, Dancing Dog 61. Let me tell you, is it still up? Oh yeah, let me take it down here. Sorry, one more here from Hollywood Rules. Says, love my boys Rocha and Winston, just sending support while laughing at Mike Francesa's moronic old man Superman rant. Embarrassing, LOL. Yeah, I posted Mike Francesa's review. Yes, from Mike and the Mad Dog. Mike Francesa's review of Superman. It is 8 minutes of some of the most hilarious takes on that movie. Oh yeah, that's not Superman. Superman, Lois isn't supposed to save herself. Superman is supposed to save her. This is ridiculous. It's hilarious. 8.5 minutes of it is genius. I love the movie. Watching the drunk uncle confront you in the corner at the family reunion to tell you how much they didn't like the Superman movie. That's what it's like watching that review. It's so much fun. Jesus Christ, man. You got to watch it.
Oh my Lord. All right. I'll check it out, man. That's crazy.
If we had more time, I would play it. But
also real talk, just because I decided to go back and look, if people want to be mad about people not being on the cover, how about the fact that Allen Iverson's ass was on like every cover for like the first like 5-6 years, bro? Be mad about the fact that Allen Iverson had 2K, 2K1, 2K2, 2K3, 2K4, aka the ESPN NBA basketball edition. And then I bet you if I keep going, that motherfucker was on here more times. Shaq had it 2 times. What else? Kobe Bryant's been on there like 4 times. Michael Jordan been on there like 2-3 times. Come on, man.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get to the Streamlabs and then we'll roll on out of here. Winston, Dancing Dog 60 says, great show as always, John. Thank you. I'm loving how this Epstein stuff is sticking to Trump like stink on doo-doo. LOL. The more he wants it to go away, the more his base wants the list. Lousy people making lousy people make lousy presidents. Anyway, midterms, people, vote. Yeah, Dancing Dog, I think it's a great point you bring up. But the midterm stuff now, don't be banking on that shit either, because today Trump came out and said he is going to redistrict and redraw the Texas map so that the Texas state gets 5 more Republican seats that they will take away from Democrats. So he is trying to stack the deck just in case the midterms fuck him because of his terrible policies. Inflation is already blowing up again. And so he is saying he's going to go into these separate red states and try to redraw these maps so that they remove Democratic representatives from Congress and make them GOP strongholds. So this is the thing now that we have to worry about. This is the plans. They're always gaming the system always. And as we just saw, Supreme Court has been approving all of their decisions, including the Department of Education, the gutting of the Department of Education today. So this is some scary stuff that we're living through. And don't think the votes are just going to help us. It's got to be more than that. So that's my 2 cents. Winston, anything on that?
Yeah, no, you're spot on. It's got to be more. And that I saw a great video of somebody just talking kind of about that. It needs to be equal parts voting as it is active resistance. And I'm not somebody saying turn to violence, but the idea of being up your senator's ass about the big, beautiful bill and other bills and legislation that are going up, continuing to peaceful protest, to call out like bigoted bullshit. Like it's all of that plus voting. Those that just vote are not helpful, and those that just protest and don't try and use the democratic system that's set into place and actually get shit done are not helpful either. You need both.
Yep, 100%. Doug Developer, what's up, Doug? He says there have been crazy apolitical people who committed violence in the name of stopping pedophilia, like with Pizzagate. What would stop those people from harming MAGA influencers who support hiding the Epstein files? I'd watch my back if I were the latter. Well, I think I don't know that there would be violence towards the MAGA influencers necessarily because they're not out in public most of the time. But I think that's a fair thing to be concerned about if you are a MAGA influencer over the Epstein stuff. Will the MAGA base turn on you at some point? And I sense the backtracking that's going on now from a number of them since they came out, to try to defend the president, is born out of the fact that their audience is speaking up and telling them that, no, we want to find out what's going on here, and you better fucking do our will, Yeah. Fantastic says, Tequila Spillers. I'm arguments with babies talking who have a problem with Kal-El. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I have an issue with babies talking who have a problem with Kal-El being an illegal alien when I say, imagine if he wound up with a family where the dad abuses his wife and kids. What kind of person would he be then? It's been quiet since. Well, nature versus nurture. Good point. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Matt Thomas.
I think that's spot on.
Yeah. Matt Thomas is here. He says, just popping in to say good shit, Rocha. Keep doing you. Thank you, Matt. Respect. And also to support my hoe ass mentor too. I'll laugh my ass off. All love to you both. I hope you all enjoyed your visit to my city in Superman Cleveland Rocks. # views from Metropolis. Winston. Your mentor with. Oh, Jesus. There it is. All right.
Check how Tron is living for the city.
Man, New York City, skyscrapers and everything. Doug Developer, ESPN interviewed coaches, execs, and scouts to rank the top 10 quarterbacks in the league right now. Jaden Daniels is ranked number 5 and best in the NFC. Congrats, Rocha. You lucky bastard. Oh, I don't.
But I already know what you're gonna say.
Yeah,
and you don't want that because then that's putting
an unnecessary
amount of pressure on this young man. Where then the next thing you know, when he doesn't live up to being the number 5 quarterback, the number of things that could just go tits up. And so, did he play fantastic? And did he get you to the NFC Championship? Hell yeah. You want to see the continued growth. So I would rather they put him in the top 10, but he has top 5 potential, and let that be what they say.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like he had a top 10 performance last year, but let's see if he can do. Because I would make the argument. You could say maybe in that moment, that person then is a top 5 because of the performance they're doing, but you got to take the whole resume. Yeah, and there's 100%. A reason why with a lot of stats, they have a minimum amount of games played or a minimum amount of years or seasons before they even consider you for a stat. Yeah, this could have all been a fluke. This could be a situation where really good game plan, really weak NFC East, except for the Eagles, like just moments that worked out, and then the wheels fall off. Or what you're hoping, and honestly, because I enjoy watching him play, he continues to grow and he becomes that dude. But this is weird. It's weird to already crown him like this because he didn't win. If he didn't want a title, fine. But just getting to the NFC Championship game, as fantastic as that was, y'all got dog walked by the Eagles. You know what I'm saying? And in a year where you were able to hold your own against them, at least somewhat in the regular season.
Yeah.
So now that you got to the playoffs, you got the shit kicked out of you. So it's just a little weird to automatically give him that crown. You know what I'm saying?
I don't disagree with you. And there's been a lot of upheaval with the team, a lot of new players coming in. I'm nervous for the season. I just want him to progress. I don't want a Super Bowl in the second season. I'm not expecting any of that. I just want to see progress from the kid and be excited to see what we're going to get next. I don't think he's the number 5 quarterback in the NFC. I think that's insane. One good year.
They're saying in the league, not the NFC. They're saying the NFL. Bro.
Yeah, the NFL. That's nonsense.
They're saying in the league. It's not.
Mark
it's not
Sanchez. Yeah, exactly. Mark Sanchez went to 2 AFC Championship games. Okay, so I don't want to hear it until like this situation is much more. He's much more seasoned. He's been in the league a while. If he wins the Super Bowl, great. Then at that point we can have a conversation. But at this point, I just want the kid to progress and grow and learn. I'm not expecting anything over the next 2 or 3 years. The thing that bothers me, though, Winston, dealing with my team, is the official account of the Commanders is starting to post more and more Redskin stuff And that is concerning me. They want
to bring it back. Yeah.
They're hinting that they're going to bring that name back. And I do not want that name back. And it would piss me off on so many levels if we brought that name back. It would make it even harder. I would still call them the Washington football team. I would not call them that other name. So it's just so frustrating to see that that's a product of the anti-DEI stuff. Like there are some things that we shouldn't roll back. This is something that we shouldn't roll back. It's so frustrating because these hillbillies can't let go of the name. It's frustrating.
I think I agree. I don't understand why they're doing that. Well, I am, but it is what it is. But the one thing I will say real quick, back to the top 10 quarterbacks, I know we got to get out of here in a minute.
Yeah.
I'm looking at what then 6 through 10 are. And first of all, I would put either Stafford or Hurts, and I would probably put Hurts because Hurts actually won a Super Bowl MVP. Dudes, you're talking to two people ahead of Jaden that have made it to the big dance, one of which that just beat all of the rest of these fucking quarterbacks to go win the title.
Right.
So I would probably put Jaden in about 8, maybe 9. And I think that that's still respectable. I think that there's nothing about that that's wrong. Like, I'll give you 1 through 4 because there's MVPs in there. There are Super Bowl winners or at least Super Bowl appearances. Like Burrow may only have the appearance and may have only been like one play away from winning it. But the way he's been playing, you throw his numbers in there too. He deserves to be in that top 4. Jaden at 5 is weird to me. I'm sorry.
I don't disagree with you, brother. I'm looking at it now myself. I think, this is a weird list because all the guys below him are much more experienced than him and have shown what they can do. Stafford has won a Super Bowl. Justin Herbert has been in the league a while, and he has been fantastic, just had shitty coaches. Now that Harbaugh is there, he's going to make a leap. Jared Goff, I think Jared Goff is a great regular season quarterback who chokes in the playoffs whenever he gets
But I don't disagree with that entirely because he made it to a Super Bowl. You had a ridiculous team, but you made it to a Super Bowl. And then on top of that, look what he was able to do with the Lions with Campbell. You still needed somebody to drive that ship. And I was very hard on Jared Goff. You remember all those game times, all the Collider Sports times, bro. I was the hardest on Jared Goff. And when he got traded, I was like, well, bye. But I'm watching quarterback right now, season 2, and Jared Goff is proving all the reasons like, fuck, dude has earned this. He is out here balling, and we got to put respect on his name.
I do, but I would move Jordan Love into the top 10. There's no way Baker Mayfield is a better quarterback than Jordan Love. I think it's nonsense. Right now,
Baker's been more consistent. The problem with Jordan is Jordan had that fantastic end of a season that made them with that first year of him starting where they went, give him the money because they're like, holy crap. But then last year he was just so he needs to also just prove him and CJ Stroud to me are about the same echelon where they're like, no, you have really good talent. When you're on, but when you're off, what are you doing, bro?
Are you liking that second season? I gotta watch that.
Yeah, I am so far so good. I really like Joe Burrow. I already liked Joe Burrow, and now I really like Joe Burrow, and now I'm actually starting to like Jared Goff. I've never been a big Jared Goff guy, you know this, but this show is making me like Jared Goff.
Better than Hard Knocks did. Hard Knocks was a rough watch with that Jared Goff on the Rams.
No, I know, but he was also young. He was very young. That's the other thing about it. That's the big point. And I see somebody in there laughing about like, hey, Jordan Love dismantled Dallas. Jeremy Miller's in there. I'm aware we're not talking about Dallas. We're specifically talking about the top 10 quarterbacks. And I'm saying Baker Mayfield has won the division, 3 years in a row now? He has just dominated the division by himself. That deserves all the praise in the world. I have not seen Jordan Love do that. I saw Jordan Love lose to the Lions and lose to the Vikings, still get playoff spots, but he hasn't been consistent yet. And Baker
I want to address this. Joe Kane, I grew up 25 years in Virginia, right by DC, bitch. I know exactly what's in DC, bitch. And it ain't just a bunch of guys walking around in suits. Okay. There's a lot of outlying areas like Alexandria, Arlington, all of those areas got a lot of hillbillies, a lot of Southern people with large beer bellies who are mad about the name change and have been crying about it on social media to change it. So please don't fucking tell me who the hell is in DC, bro. I know just as much, if not more than you, about the people who live around there. So please sit the fuck back on this one. All right, one last one. Scal Scalisi says, I can't believe Andor main cast didn't get any nominations. I agree, brother. Happy for Colin Farrell, Penguin, other Andor love, though. Keep up the great work, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. And then Luis Soria Ramirez, about 1 hour behind, just sending some love. Viva la raza, Holmes. Respect. All right, Winston, let's get out of here. We get that hour and a half mark. Anything or let people know where they can find you and anything you got going on, brother, man. Promote.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can find me at the Swaggy Blurred on all platforms. I am here checking on my dad. There's been some some health stuff and some personal stuff going on. So I'll be down here for the next couple of days. I will be back home in time on Friday for Capes and Cows. However, I am editing my video right now. I'm hoping to have it out on Thursday. If it doesn't come out Thursday, I will keep you updated. It'll come out on Friday. It just depends on how much I'm doing with my dad tomorrow. It will be my theory of how I think the Fantastic Four movie is going to go. I've compiled some evidence, both from the comics and from the movies, where I think they're going to put this movie. So if you want to come and see how my crazy brain works, and as I break it all down for you, it'll be a good time. Very in the vein of the, who I thought was on Sam Wilson's team. So if you enjoyed that humor, if you enjoyed that kind of pacing, it'll be more of that. So come check that out. And then when I get home, I will probably be out with my dad tomorrow night. So when I get home, I'll be back streaming again. And finally, on Sunday, we're going to be watching Blazing Saddles. So if you want to come and watch Blazing Saddles with me, check out my Patron and my memberships, and you can do all that.
What time? Because I'm going to do a live stream at the same time. No, I'm just joking.
You son of a bitch. Now I'm not going to tell you. I tell you,
I only saw you come in the chat later after I was watching the replay. I was like, oh shit, I didn't even know he was live. I got a bug up my ass and went live, and I didn't even think about it.
It's all good. It was actually hilarious because we went in there because Joseph Ashley goes, shit, you, Roxy, and Rocha are all on at the same time. I was like, these motherfuckers on my territory, on my turf. And I went in there, I was like, Rocha, what the fuck you think you're doing? And then I left after like a minute. I actually showed your show on my show. I was like, if this motherfucker gives me a copyright strike, I'm gonna fight him. I swear to God. I'm just promoting his shit. I will fight him if he fucking gives me a strike.
I appreciate it. I know I would never. I just thought it was so funny when I was going back through the checks. I was looking for shorts. I saw your thing on the, and I was like, oh shit. So it's just but anyway, it's fun times, brother. As for me, you can follow me at The Rocha Says, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, wherever you download that. And then please subscribe to the channel. We've had almost 1,000 subscribers this month on the channel. Really one of the best months I've had. Thanks for everybody who's been watching the Superman content and subscribing and all the shows that we do, like Spill the Tequila, Hot Mic, Geek Buddies, all that stuff. Thank you all so much. Please subscribe down below. Leave your comments, leave all your love, and share it on social media so more people discover the channel here as we're about to change over into officially being the John Rocha channel. So thank you, guys. Take care of yourselves. Be well. Go see Superman again this week. And we'll talk to you next time with another brand new episode here of Spill the Tequila. Peace.